for their contributions and recognize the Executive Council of the School of Nursing. Dr. Joseph Tacey, Associate Dean for Administration. Dr. LaDonna Northington, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. Dr. Jennifer Robinson, Associate Dean for Research and Scholarship. Dr. Ann Norwood, Interim Associate Dean for Practice and Partnerships and Assistant Dean for Graduate Programs. Dr. Tina Martin, Assistant Dean for Accreditation and Evaluation and for Undergraduate Programs. And Dr. Tammy Dempsey, Assistant Dean for Students. I also recognize the Office of Student Affairs staff for the tremendous amount of work that goes into planning and coordinating this event. At this time, I would like to welcome Dr. Ralph Didlake, Associate Vice Chancellor, to speak to our graduates and guest. Dr. Didlake.
Thank you, Dr. Sanford. I really appreciate the invitation to share in this ceremony. I know it's a profound moment in the professional career of every nurse, as you pointed out. So on behalf of the educational leadership at the Medical Center, I extend my heartiest congratulations to each of you. You have worked hard to be at this spot, and we are intensely proud of you. We're also pretty sad that we did not have the opportunity to have a traditional graduation ceremony this year. That was a big issue for us and a difficult decision. But in exchange for that, you have the great honor and privilege of not only entering a very honorable profession, but entering that profession at a pivotal moment in history. You will have direct impact on the future of America's health. And please know that the institution is intensely proud of each of you. So as you go forward, please carry with you our very best. Again, Dr. Sanford, thank you for allowing me to be with you tonight.
Thank you for joining us, Dr. Didlake. It's such a pleasure to have you here. At this time, I'd welcome Annalie Purdy, Senior Ambassador, who will deliver our invocation, followed by Brock Martes, Nursing Student Body President, who will introduce our keynote speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Sanford. Please join me and bow your heads in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us together for this occasion of celebration. Though these are not the circumstances in which we plan to gather, we thank you for the opportunity to virtually commemorate our penning from UMC's School of Nursing. Thank you so much for these past 2 years in which we have learned and grown in more ways than we thought imaginable. We could not have come this far without your hand guiding us every step of the way. Thank you for this amazing class of students. Please be with us as we embark on the next chapter of our lives in this world of nursing. Help us to praise you in all that we do. It's in your name I pray. Amen. Please help me to welcome our Student Body President, Brock Martes.
Hey y'all, thanks. I'd like to let all of my classmates know that I am very proud of each one of y'all, and I wish all the best in your future endeavors, whatever that may take you. I've enjoyed serving y'all during our time in nursing school, and I could not have made it without y'all's support. I hate that our school year ended the way it did, but I'm very thankful for the time I've been able to spend with y'all and the friendships I've made over the last 2 years. As the Nursing Student Body President, it is an honor to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Dr. Kay Bender. Dr. Bender is an independent public health organizational and education consultant and strategist. She will serve as the Executive Director of the Mississippi Public Health Association beginning May 2020. Dr. Bender served as the President and CEO of the Public Health Accreditation Board, PHAB, from 2009 to 2019. She was the Dean of the University of Mississippi Medical Center School of Nursing for 6 years immediately before PHAB. Prior to that, she worked in local public health for several years in Mississippi and was the Deputy State Health Officer for the Mississippi Department of Health for 12 years. She chaired the Exploring Accreditation Steering Committee, the precursor study for the establishment of the Public Health Accreditation Board. Dr. Bender has served on 3 Institute of Medicine, now the National Academy of Medicine, study committees related to public health and another one related to credentialing research in nursing. She is currently serving on a National Academy of Medicine work group looking at the impact of community health needs assessments and community health improvement plans. She is an active member of the American Public Health Association and is a fellow in the American Academy of Nursing. She is also a member of the National Board of Public Health Examiners and the National Quality Forum. She has numerous publications and presentations related to governmental public health infrastructure improvement. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to some and introduce to others Dr. Kay Bender.
It is great to be here. I am so pleased to be here to welcome you to the nursing profession. And I thank Dean Julie Sanford for the invitation. And thank you, graduating nurses, for choosing nursing profession. And I know you'll make it better as you develop your career going forward. You have completed this program despite circumstances out of your control, especially in the last semester. At first, defined as a state of misfortune, and we can either choose to deal with it or bring us down. You get this done in spite of all the difficulties, especially in this last semester. Tonight are an exciting part of UMMC School of Nursing history. First virtual pinning ceremony in the history of the school will be tonight, as we hope you will for quite a while. Know that you're joining the nation's largest healthcare profession. There are a little over 3 million registered nurses practicing nationwide, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics says that job opportunities for registered nurses are only expected to continue to grow. Comprise the largest single component of hospital staff are the providers of hospital-based patient care and deliver most of the nation's long-term care. Most across the country involve some form of care by nurses, although 60% of nurses work in hospitals. As you know, there are a variety of roles in a wide range of other settings: private practice, home health care, public health agencies, outpatient clinics, insurance companies, health maintenance organizations, schools, nursing homes, academic institutions, the military, industries are everywhere. 4 times as many registered nurses in the United States as physicians. Healthcare also depends on advanced practice nurses to advanced nursing care in areas such as pediatrics, family health, gerontological care. The scope of advanced practice nursing that includes clinical nurse specialists, wives and nurse anestheticists. Why did I do that? You already know all that. I did it because I want you to know that you'll run out of opportunities in the nursing profession. There's so much to do and many exciting career paths ahead of you. Concerned tonight that the COVID-19 stories of nurses on the front lines haven't made you afraid to practice our profession. A few of those feelings. Think back about all the other things that maybe you used to be afraid of when it came to your nursing education. For example, were you ever afraid that you weren't going to get in the program? And then, were you afraid about what you'd done? Oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. Think about that first test. Think about completing the first clinical, writing the first paper, maybe rewriting the first paper. Think about your first medication, starting your first IV, and on and on. You know, I read somewhere this week, you think about this and see if it applies to your nursing education. What I read was that in the course of an average education, typical student takes about 26 tests, responds to over 500 emails, reads computer about 35 times, sometimes in one night, drink 100 cups of coffee, approximately 10,000 miles, and writes approximately 25 nursing process or care plan papers, and all of that and more, but you did it. And you're that many say is the most wonderful accomplishment ever, and I would agree, and that is completing your initial nursing education. Think about it. You hold the power to instill laughter in a child's life. You hold chronically ill adult ways to bring back normalcy in their life. If someone's firstborn, know that he's okay when he hears those strange voices. Or an elderly woman talk about a recipe for oven-baked chicken, even though she's no longer able or has the strength to make it. These are the I take for granted. You have a career path or qualities like empathy, autonomy are of utmost importance. I know that every one of you here tonight will take the tools you've learned in this wonderful nursing program and use that newfound power wisely and weave it into your practice and make it your own. Note, you've also learned, I think, that giving voice, the best answer to life's questions is usually one of the following. A, airway, breathing, circulation. Green, leafy vegetables. Massage the fundus. Check that second lead. Tell me more about that. Or fails. Can you excuse me? I'll be right back. Then you go out, find your supervisor, throw up, and go back in to see the patient. Now, I'm being light about those, of course, but I bet you could think of or relate to most of those. Credit for those comments comes from former nursing students at another school of nursing who survived and graduated, but are making it quite nicely in the profession. Reflecting on the past months of COVID-19, Nelson Mandela quote that I use quite a bit because I believe he was right when he said he learned courage was not the fear, but the triumph over it. During the past several months, we've seen fear in others and maybe felt it ourselves. It's easy to deal with something that we have no precedent for. Members, colleagues, and patients in the process of learning as we go. It is balance work with kids and husbands and partners being home from school or work, to worry about elderly and long-term care facilities, to nursing students bolstered in their studies in the times, and to support our friends who maybe had big graduation trip plans. It's a lifetime family wedding. It's a lot to deal with in your senior semester of nursing. as old as I am and as long as I've practiced, the first time I had an adult patient to die, the first time I saw a critically ill newborn, her life, the first mistake I made, I just left because I hated it. The first patient I received, for absolutely sure I was where I needed to be career-wise, but I didn't have a clue how to do the job. You're expected to know what to do to keep her cool and to function. Actually, this week that said nurse is just another word to describe a person who's strong enough to tolerate anything and to understand anyone. For all of that fear and anxiety comes when we recognize that our bond of nurses is strong, both individually and collectively. After all you've been through, you got things go. What's taking NCLEX and a global virus got on you? You got this. Somebody told you while you were in this program, and I bet they did, that nursing needs you, because we do. So after you finish all of your celebrations, take your NCLEX, start your new job, please don't forget to be an active member of the profession. Add that to your to-do list. We need members to help shape the future of nursing. We need solid nurses in all those roles I mentioned earlier. Continue to help nursing be the most trusted profession. We need elected offices around board to find about policy matters. And we need nurses to add to the evidence that guides our practice and influences the health of all of our population. We do need you. You know, as a practicing person for most of my career, I think COVID-19 has taught us many things that will apply to our work going forward, and especially your work going forward. I think are the setting in which you choose to practice. We really are all in the business of keeping the whole population healthy. Economy are more connected than most people have ever thought about or realized until now. Nurses will innovate and advocate to get the job done. That family and close friends are our best therapy when adversity comes our way. Nurses are all polls the most trusted healthcare professionals, but we need to guard that trust carefully. We need to practice our profession carefully forward. As I bring this to a close, I want to share with you a story that you may have heard already, but I just think that it is so poignant for now. Wang is a nurse at Holy Name Medical Center in, of all places, Teaneck, New Jersey. That's just outside of New York City. Started in March. She's worked more than 45 days with only 3 days off. ICU bed capacity in her hospital increased from 19 beds to 121 beds almost overnight. Thousands of people in her hospital tested positive for the coronavirus, and she lost to date about 108 patients. She works every day in an isolation gown, a head covering with goggles, 2 pairs of gloves, and an N95 filtering mask. Since most of her patients either have oxygen or are intubated, there are primary things she can see for them. The fear in people's eyes stick with me. I even see them when I go to sleep. She has lost elderly patients, younger patients, and colleagues with COVID-19. When she gets home to her husband, 3 children, and 2 dogs, she showers and changes outside of the family's living quarters because her greatest fear is transmitting the virus to them. In spite of this, she was recently asked if she would choose nursing again as a profession. And she said, absolutely, I would. As stressed and as fearful as I have been, I think that I'm growing stronger and more capable at what I do. This is why I became a nurse, and together we'll get through this. Her story, I think about the last quote I will share with you because I really commend you to take this with you through your career. Oprah Winfrey, a native Mississippian, once said, every experience, every and every mistake are there to teach you and force you who you are. Congratulations on your achievement, and I look forward to working with you in our chosen nursing profession. Thank you.
Hi. Hello, class of 2020 University of Mississippi Nursing School graduates. It is my honor and pleasure to spend a few minutes highlighting and remembering our past 2 years of nursing school. We were warned. We were told several things about nursing school before starting. This is going to be hard. There will be times that you want to quit, but you will make it to the end. On the first day of nursing school, I clearly remember thinking to myself, this is like putting a bunch of type A people in a boxing ring and letting them fight to the death. I could tell that the other 99 people in the room also had high expectations, were perfectionists and competitive, and doubted what they were just told. Nursing school can't be that hard. After all, we had made it this far. Little did we know that the next 2 years would hold some of the most challenging days that we had faced yet. I had heard that nursing school was weird, but I never quite knew what that meant until I began. One of the first hands-on lectures we had was on sex education. Certain students in our class had to talk about diseases related to the topic, how to correctly use contraceptives, and how to educate adolescents. I wasn't sure if this was their idea of an icebreaker, but that is exactly what it turned out to be. Later, during our OB course, a few of the boys put on the weighted pregnancy vests. We all looked at each other and literally said, this place gets weirder by the day. Then we felt an actual placenta. Yes, we wore gloves, and it was in the classroom. When we walked into our lab for the first time and were shown our patients, I think most of us thought something along the lines of, I'm sorry, you want me to pretend that this plastic dummy is a real person and to pretend that your voice from behind that see-through screen is my patient's voice and knock on that fake door and talk to that fake and invisible family and do so without laughing? It was right then and there that I questioned my decision of becoming a nurse for the very first time. Talk about awkward. I hardly knew what vital signs were, and now I had to take them on this fake person while my teacher watches and critiques me. But we made it through, and we did many times after that as well. And then the first day of clinical. It was the day we had all looked forward to. We got to take vital signs on real people and have real conversations. We couldn't believe that day had finally come. Upon arriving to the hospital, my clinical group was told to find a buddy, pick a hole in the unit, and take vital signs on the whole hallway. We thought, perfect, something we know how to do. My friend and I paired up and walked to the first patient's room. We foamed up with the hand sanitizer and just stood there and looked at each other. It was as if we had forgotten our own name. We took a few minutes to build up our courage and finally went in. Later that day, we were checking a patient's O2 saturation and the monitor wasn't reading. Well, as baby nurses would, we assumed this meant the patient was dying, even though he was comfortably sitting in the bed. If the monitor wouldn't read his O2, then he didn't have any oxygen, right? We raced to get the teacher to tell her that the patient was practically dead, and by the time we got back to the room, his O2 was at 100%. I'm sure he had moved his finger a little bit, and the probe adjusted to fit just right. Near the end of our senior year, many of us had trips, celebrations, and ceremonies planned to celebrate all that we had accomplished, and then COVID-19 made its appearance. I was very frustrated, angry, and upset, as I am sure the majority of our class was. It had to be a mistake, not our senior year of college. Surely it would pass rather quickly, and we could still walk across the stage and receive our physical diploma together as a class who had grown to love and support each other so well. However, as we all know, it didn't. Events began to cancel one by one until finally our graduation. As hard as it is to accept that our senior year of college ended so abruptly, I'm grateful that our school took the steps needed in order to allow us the opportunity to graduate on time. I'm grateful for the memories that I'll hold on tight to for a lifetime, and I'm grateful for the friendships that were made and the lessons that were learned over the past 2 years. Nursing school consisted of a lot of studying and then getting to the test and wondering what in the world we had spent so many hours looking at because suddenly we didn't know the information. Then after the test, we would spend an extended amount of time looking up why our answer was wrong when indeed it was right. All answers in nursing school are right, but only one is right. Yes, it's that confusing. So we would then post on the discussion board why we should get back a certain question and continue to check it for every few minutes in hopes that our classmates had successfully pleaded their case. After all, every point in nursing school really does count and go a long way. We would then get our official grade back and cry a little bit, but then watch a Nurse Blake video to make us feel better. By the end of it, a passing grade was a passing grade. The weekly 5:30 a.m. alarms in order to make it to clinical on time reminded us yet again that nursing school was not for the weak. And then, of course, the occasional or regular running across the street because you overslept or couldn't get yourself together in time. Nursing school consisted of trying to find the perfect balance between school and life, which was very challenging. I think most of us would agree that our life has been kind of put on hold for the past 2 years. Specifically, as the class of 2020, we transitioned back and forth between the lecture-based learning style to a team-based learning style, and we made it through. Even though it was trying, we made it through. And yes, we had some fun in between all the stress, whether it was traveling on the weekends to remind ourselves that life really did exist outside of the four walls of our lecture hall, or going to our favorite restaurant to celebrate the small victories. We made it fun. Many of us attended the University of Mississippi parties that were free to students and the UMC crawfish boil that was also free. Maybe the word free was what drew us to it, but regardless, we had a great time. Some of us attended Family Day put on by the ambassadors of the nursing school, which was special to be able to show our families where we practically lived. And then, of course, there was waking up to a selfie in our big group me of one of our classmates, followed by a text from him saying, "Delete, please." Needless to say, we made the most of the stress and workload that came along with nursing school. I think I can speak for the majority of the class when I say there were many times that we felt literally beat up and discouraged. Whether we had spent hours studying for a test and completely bombed it, or had been totally embarrassed in clinical, there were times when we questioned the profession of nursing. Sometimes it was as if we had just passed that test and then suddenly realized that the next week consisted of 3 more tests, a project, clinical, and clinical paperwork. Does it ever end? Will it ever end? It was that subtle feeling of no one else gets it. We work so hard and sometimes it doesn't pay off the way we want it to. Our GPA didn't always reflect the work we had put in. Matter of fact, near the beginning of nursing school, one of my friends mentioned that she noticed more hair falling out than normal. We all looked at each other and said, "Wait, mine is too. Are we that stressed?" Yes, we were. But I'm here to remind every graduate that we all know the endurance and work put in behind this degree and that it is well deserved. Throughout these past 2 years, people would ask me why I wanted to be a nurse. I never had a clear answer, and oftentimes I replied, "I really don't know. I just knew I wanted to help people." As it came to the end of my nursing school journey, I've realized that being a nurse is much more than having the skills to keep our patients alive. An adequate nurse must have compassion, empathy, as well as being caring and loving. After all, we are the ones who never leave the bedside. We are the ones present during the happiest moments of our patients' stay in the hospital and the ones there during their utmost suffering. We are their encouragers and comforters, the ones who speak bold and profound words to them. We believe in them, and more times than not, we witness their progression towards optimal health. We have the ability to make an immense difference for them and their families. In knowing all of these things, it makes it all worth it. Every tear shed, discouragement felt, doubt experienced, it's all worth it knowing how much of an impact every single one of us is about to make on the lives of others. We have the skills, we have the knowledge, and we have the ability to go out and change the world one life at a time. On behalf of the 2020 graduates, thank you to the staff and administration of UMC Nursing School. Your patience, kindness, and compassion towards us as students does not go unnoticed. We simply could not have done this without you. Since day one, you pushed us to be our best, encouraged us when we were down, and motivated us to keep our eyes on our end goal. To my family and friends, thank you for believing in me even when I may not have believed in myself. You loved me and cheered me on through all of the stress, and I'm eternally grateful. And of utmost importance, I give thanks to the Lord who has carried me through. To my classmates and the 2020 graduates, congrats, we did it. I truly would not have made it through without the support and encouragement that we had within our class. We learned to love each other so well. We cried, laughed, and celebrated together. You all have made a huge impact on me. We finally made it to our end goal, and now it's time to live it out. As Florence Nightingale would say, I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took any excuse. Thank you. Congrats.
It's unmuted.
Good evening and welcome. And thank you, Dr. Bender, for those words of encouragement. I was able to relate to many of the attributes that you talked about. And Olivia, you tickled me a couple of times there. So those nursing school test questions, you are exactly right. I'm Dr. LaDonna Northington, the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the University of Mississippi School of Nursing. For this event, all graduates received their lapel pins in a penning jack packet. At this time, graduates, please have your pins ready. As your name is called, you will see a graduation photo appear on the screen. Please allow a significant person of your choice to pin you as your name and photo is shown. In recognition of their service this year to the School of Nursing and to the senior class, we will begin by pinning those who have served in senior class leadership positions with ambassadors, nursing student body government, class officers, and the class marshal. Anna Jordan Butts, ambassador. Sarah Elizabeth Gray, ambassador. Laura Anna Gurney, ambassador. Aisha Shante Johnson, ambassador. Andrew Zachary Ketchum, ambassador and senior class treasurer. Carly Elaine Lewis, ambassador, senior class vice president. Jonathan Brockmeyer Martes, ambassador, nursing student body president. Ann Peaster Montgomery, ambassador. Olivia Marie Nash, ambassador, senior class president. Lauren Hope Knuckles, marshal of the class. Sarah Spencer Pace, ambassador. Anna Lee Ward Purdue, ambassador. Avion Lene Soigné, ambassador. Michaela Brianne Warren, ambassador. Caitlin Nicole Sanders, nursing student body parliamentarian. Ben Henry Brasher, nursing student body treasurer. Risa Lynn Stevens, nursing student body secretary. Julia Ann McKinney, nursing student body philanthropy chair. Danielle Lynn Vort, senior class secretary. Macy Barnett Thornton, senior class reporter. Ivy Elizabeth Abel. McKenna Grace Adams. Brooke Alexandra Albritton. Miranda Shelby Allen. Natalie Ann Anderson. Sarah Lindsay Altman. Allison Lehman Bales. Madeline Worth Beasley. Breland Owen Bowie. Stacy Michelle Boykin. Tony Amelia Bracy. Mary Parker Brister. Abby Alyssa Broom. Elaine Owen Bruce. Garrett Cole Busby. Ashley Nicole Case. Haley Elizabeth Church. Kaylee Brooke Cole. Abby Caroline Coleman. Anna Claire Dabbs. Angela Javonic, sorry, Angela. Jamie Virginia Dorman. Natalie Christine Garcia. Tracy Elaine Hard. Callie Brooke Holmes. Amber Claire Huddleston. Jessica Marie Hurley. Reagan Nicole Heydrich. Rachel Monique Johnson. Madison Renee Jones. Timbra Kenyatta Jones. Coral Marie Kemp. Elizabeth Lee Kuntz. Morgan Nicole Levitt. Amber Nicole Lincoln. Caitlin Marie Linton. Chelsea Lene Luckett. Lorraine Ashley May. Elizabeth Rachel McAuliffe. Kaylee J. Morton. Mallory Dawn Mulvihill. Carolyn Angela Nichols. Jana Suzanne Odom. Brittany Nicole Owens. Caleb Nathaniel Pace. Caitlin Mackenzie Powell. Madison Bates Quinn. Haley Nicole Rank. Kaylee Deshay Rose. Mary Abigail Rogers. Savannah Ray Sanderson. Taylor Lane Sanford. Molly Marie Schatz. Samantha Gail Sistrunk. Caitlin Diane Smith. Morgan Lane Smithhart. James Mason Standard. Jordan Elizabeth Tadlock. Daniel James Tate. Carly Brooke Thompson. Gary Wayne Tucker III. Laura Elizabeth Turner. Sydney Kirk Vaughn. Marquisa Shanae Walls. Anne Louise Whitehead. Ashton Camille Wilson. Morgan Olivia Wilson. Madison Taylor Wren. Congratulations to the traditional BSN class of 2020. At this time, Dr. Tina Farrell will present the Daisy Nursing Student Award.
And thank you. The Daisy Foundation was established in 1999 by the family of Patrick Barnes. Patrick died at the age of 33 from complications of a bleeding disorder. Like many families go through such a horrific loss, the Barnes family wanted to find a way to turn this grief into something positive, something to truly honor the very special man that Patrick was. So, as the family came up with the DAISY acronym, they wanted to determine what the DAISY Foundation would be. The acronym stood diseases attacking the immune system. As they stormed what the Daisy Foundation would do, they kept coming back to the one positive thing: the amazing care and all of the family and Patrick received from Patrick's nurses. Even when he was completely sedated, the nurses were still there caring for him and the family. The impressed by the clinical care Patrick's nurses provided, and they were overwhelmed by the level of compassion and kindness that his nurses brought to Patrick's bedside day in and day out. As of their experience, the family believes that nurses are the unsung heroes of our society who deserve more recognition and honor than they receive. So, as a result of their experience, they created the Daisy Foundation. Thank you to nurses. Over the 18 years, more than 1 million nominations have been received, and more than 3,000 hospitals across the world participate in the Daisy Award. The Daisy Nursing Student Award was modeled after that original Daisy Award for Extraordinary Nurses. This recognition program is designed to highlight the outstanding and compassionate care provided to patients and families by nursing students. This graduating class has 3 very well-deserved nominees. Anna Jordan Butts received 2 nominations. One of those was from nursing school faculty member Tara Price, and the other from the School of Nursing faculty member Jennifer Hargett, as well as the 5 North staff. Was nominated by Anna Yaxiola, RN in the NICU, and Caitlin Sanders nominated by Daniel Chambers, RN in the Neuro SICU. It is my pleasure to announce that Anna Jordan is the 2020 recipient for the traditional BSN class. I'll read a little bit Anna Jordan's nominations. When Anna Jordan was a junior student, the staff on 5 North at UMMC received a patient newly admitted to the unit who was unable to speak any English. It was after hours and the UMC interpreters were not available. The staff attempted to utilize their video conferencing translation services for the patient. However, because the patient spoke a Guatemalan dialect, Mayan, rather than Spanish, the interpreter was unable to translate for the patient at all. This left the staff with a major problem. The patient did have a visitor at the bedside who spoke both the dialect and Spanish, but no English. Anna great volunteered to help translate a few critical pieces of information between the staff and the patient. This took almost an hour of the nurse to English Anna Jordan, who then spoke Spanish to the relative, who then spoke in dialect to the patient, and then back again. This was well above and beyond her responsibilities for her clinicals that day, for a patient we were not even responsible for. We all greatly appreciated her help and allowed the staff to take care of this patient until an official translator could be acquired. The patient, the family member, and the 5 North staff were greatly appreciative of her help. During this past spring, Anna Jordan was assigned to labor and delivery with preceptor Julie Cushman. On numerous occasions, Anna Jordan's ability to speak Spanish was used to ensure a positive patient experience and outcome. Speaking you in your native language during a time like labor and birth of your child provides that added support, calm, and encouragement that may have been missed. It's not a nursing skill, it's a personal skill and a talent. Anna Jordan used this talent and skill to go above and beyond to make sure her patients had the best experience possible. It's no wonder she has been offered one job in labor and delivery in Dallas that she applied for. As the new recipient of this great honor, your Daisy Student Nurse Award, you will receive a lapel pin and a certificate. Your certificate reads, "In deep appreciation of your commitment to extraordinary, compassionate patient care and your outstanding clinical skill that will make a meaningful difference in the lives of so many people." You will also receive the Healer Touch sculpture. The sculptures, the unique relationship with their patients and teachers have with their students. Each piece is hand carved for the artists of the Shona tribe in Zimbabwe. The proceeds support over 400 members of this tribe. Congratulations, Anna Jordan. And I would like to say thank you to the nominators for submitting wonderful nominations. At this time, I would like to ask Dr. Sanford to present the Okely Award.
As Dean, it is my pleasure to present this next award, the Christine Elle Okely Memorial Award. This award is sponsored by the Nursing Alumni Chapter in the School of Nursing. It is presented annually at commencement to a graduating senior from the traditional BSN program who is chosen by the faculty as the most outstanding student in the class. The recipient will receive a medal and a scholarship award by mail. The 2020 Okely Award recipient is Lauren Knuckles. Congratulations, Lauren. Dr. Northington.
Okay. Graduates, at this time, it is my honor to recite the Nightingale Pledge with you. This can be found in your program. We will be unmuting your microphones so that all of you can join in together. We invite all nurses to join in the recitation of this pledge. Okay, are you ready? Ready. Yes, I hear you. You ready? Okay, we'll try. I pledge myself here before my God and in the presence of this
endeavor to maintain and elevate the standard of nursing.
Read this song. And as an art.
I'm on time.
I accept the duty to work for the improvement of health in the communities in which I live and work. I will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and will respect the privacy of medical information. I will act with compassion in ethical matters. I will not knowingly administer or consume any harmful substance. I commit to interdisciplinary collaboration and lifelong learning. I fully acknowledge the seriousness of the responsibility that I accept in my calling and the significance of this pledge that I take today. Dr. Sanford.
Thank you all for being with us in this virtual ceremony and all the patients with all the technology issues. This is our first virtual pinning, so there were a few rocky moments, but we appreciate you being here to celebrate with our 2020 traditional BSN graduates. We would like to thank all of our presenters and especially our keynote speaker, Dr. Kay Bender, for being with us this evening. We also want to thank our senior class reporter, Macy Thornton, for creating our senior class slideshow. The link will be posted on our School of Nursing Facebook page. Please stay safe and be well. Congratulations, graduates. Please wear your pins, knowing that you have successfully completed the rigors of the BSN nursing program. You make us so proud. Congratulations.